Hello, this is Julio Gamboa, and this is the first part of the um, assignment for BIT206 network design, which is basically the installation of Untangle firewall. And in order to recreate or apply some rules to have a secure network, the first step is create two virtual machines, one for Untangle and one for an Ubuntu server, an Ubuntu client. Untangle has activated two adapters in order one to have access to internet, an external connection, and the second adapter is an internal one to create a kind of an internal network in VirtualBox. The Ubuntu adapter, it's also an internal network, so that means the all traffic that is going that's coming to the Ubuntu client, or it's asking for, is have to go through the Untangle machine. So let's go to the main page of Untangle and let's go to the applications. I've been downloaded all mostly the most common applications already, and we will work at, first with web filter, which is one of the most popular applications in Untangle. Once inside of the web filter application, we can do one of the measures more used by the clients of Untangle, which is the block size, and it's basically just add the URL address of the site that we're planning to block. For example, in this case, we can say facebook.com, and in the description you can see I can say I don't know social network. It's not allowed. So with this, we just then apply the change. Yeah. Once apply the change, we can go to our Ubuntu client, try to access to facebook.com, and if all the traffic to the Ubuntu client is going through the Untangle, it shouldn't be allowed. Yeah. Let's try facebook.com. Quite slow. If we try to gain access to the website, yeah, it was blocked, and the reason why is social network is not allowed. Okay, let's go back to Untangle. Yeah, and among the other features of web filter is a category. Inside categories, we have heaps of different categories that are already established by default for Untangle, and also we have here social network. But the thing is, few companies use LinkedIn as one of social network allowed. In that case, we can select the category of social network. Once apply the change, we go back to our client and we try to access to the website that we put in the past sites. You can see that Facebook is allowed. Yeah. Well, another feature is past clients. That's in the case that you have you don't want to restrict the access to any kind of traffic to a CEO or any other manager. So let's go back to our applications and let's try now with so now let's try with captive portal. Let's go here. So yeah, this is captive portal is basically the administrators of the network as to the clients in before going to the network to log in or depends on or to accept the policies that are applied in the network. So for that we're going to captive page and we can put edit the name or title of the page as a welcome to Polytechnic. And the message, it can be some companies write down here some of the things or the policies that should be check the user before check the agree box to go into the website. Also, we can put here you must have to agree with the terms and conditions. Agree you must agree with the terms and conditions to have access. So at this point we can just apply the rule or the page that we want to present before the user goes into the network. After we apply our change, we can go to our to clients and check if the captive portal is working. Yeah, welcome to Mobile Polytechnic, and click here means you agree to the terms above. Now we can go back to Untangle and go again to apps. Now that our our captive page is working, we also another feature is the basic login of the website. We require a username and password for the user, and if we click on user authentication, we can work through a couple of social networks or local active directory. In this case, let's try with the local directory. That in local directory will be the same user and password that they used to get into the computer. And once apply the change, we can reload the page. The difference will be that it's gonna ask for username and password. Yep, and there you have it. Now let's go back to our Untangle and going back to our rack of applications, and let's work now with application control. Inside of application control, this is such a great tool, mostly for business and schools as well, to keep the network secure. Or also it works with the bandwidth controller to keep or regulate the bandwidth in the network. So if we go into the tab of applications, we can see that we have a bunch of applications here, and for example, we're gonna sort all of these by category, and we're gonna tackle one of the main problems on a network, which is the download through torrents. Okay, let's find the category of file transfer. Yeah, we have BIT206 here. It's already blocked and with flag. So if we apply this change, okay, once we apply changes of block and flag BitTorrent, we can go to our Ubuntu server. I just took one of the well-known pages to download through torrent, and let's see, to start a random download. I don't know. Yeah. Let's download this one. And get this torrent. Let's start the application, the download through this transmission. Let's start the download start. Shouldn't start actually, because we already blocked the BitTorrent. Let's wait for it. Yeah, the download should appear after we agree this, and If we leave it like that, we can see that it's not going further than this because we already blocked the traffic through our application control. Let's keep this. Go back to our Untangle. Let's get rid of this application control and let's go now to our okay, now we are going to the application of bandwidth control, and we're going to work with some quotes for the clients, and in this case we go to the tab rules. I completely forgot, in order to start with the bandwidth control, you have to run the bandwidth control setup with the wizard, and we provide you a set of rule already predefined by the system. In this case, we're going to go to rules, and we're going to add two rules. Well, we're going to call it give client quote if not quote yeah. And we're gonna add some conditions that have been should be met by the client to apply the rule. And in the first one, we're gonna say that if client has no quote, not another one, source interface source interface source interface as any node1 because we have to be applied to the internal network. And another one where we're going to provide the IP address of the client. In this case, address, and we're going to provide the address. So sorry, it's not a source interface, it's a source address, and we're going to provide the range of IP, then we need to apply this rule. In this case is the internal one, from 100 to 200 probably. And the action type will be set priority, and in this case if the client exceeds the quote, will be limited separately. Most of the time they send him to a penalty box for a period of time, but in this case, for just to prove our point, we're gonna leave it as a limited separately. And we're done, and we already have our rule as the first one. Now I'm gonna create another rule, which is in this case will be analyze clients over quota or quota. And the syntax for this will be very basic one. Client has no quote, client has exceeded the quote. If this statement is true, we're gonna give set priority as I said, we're gonna limit severally. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake in the first rule. Let's check that. At the moment, this one is to penalize clients over quote and limited the bandwidth for that client. In the first rule that we made, we're not gonna set a priority because, as we say here, we're gonna give to our client a quote. So we're gonna give a client a quote. That will end at the end of the day. And for purpose of just to prove the rule, we're gonna set up in 5 megabytes. We exit of this, and we have our two rules here. I'm gonna put this one at the beginning. The order is quite important because they runs as a loop. Every time that a session starts, it starts to check rule by rule in order until the first one it's a match. So let's gonna apply and let's gonna check in our client Ubuntu. Now we're in our client Ubuntu and I already have a torrent to download to check how the rule is working. Let's wait until the download starts. And let's see, after the download start, it should be a quite significant drop of megabytes per second. Should I have? Let's see, we already got 1 megabyte. We are around 100. We're around 100 KB per second. So after we step on, we already exceed our rule. We are over the 5 megabytes per day. Look how significantly it dropped the speed of download. So that's what our rules does. From 180 to 100 and something, drop it into 50 something. Is now going above of 60, I reckon. Yeah, that's pretty much what our rule does. I'm gonna kill this. And let's go back to our Untangle. So we already watch how we can control our bandwidth. In that case, we can make our client to drop the speed of download, or we can send him to the penalty box as well. Let's go to rules and let's gonna check it's gonna edit the penalization. The penalization rule, and we can change it here from set priority. We can send him to the penalty box, and we can check the client in the tab status and view penalty box. In this case it doesn't appear because we just limit the speed of download, but we can see that we exceed the limit of code per day for that client. So let's go back to our applications in the rack. And now that we are in our applications again, now I'm going to show you how to bypass the Untangle firewall. This what this cannot be confused with the web filter. This one, it's another way to bypass all the applications in the principal rack, which is all the applications. It's like a free pass off from everything. Mostly use it for servers that need certain update, or they need access to internet without restrictions. Basically, we're going to configuration, network, a bit slow. Once we are in the configurations, we're going to bypass the top bypass rules, and we're gonna add our if section. So the description that we're gonna apply here can be server needs update, no restrictions, and we can add our syntax. It's gonna each is gonna be a source address, and we're gonna put the address of the server that need the unrestricted access. In this case, we're gonna use our Ubuntu client, and that's pretty much everything that you have to do to bypass the complete firewall, but unrestricted access for pretty much everything. So turn here, and yeah, this is the new that we just create. The server needs updates and no restrictions, and complete no restrictions for access through the internet. What else can we do? It's if you don't want to give if you want to limit some restrictions, we can add some protocols. Yeah, we have to put in order everything. So let's check all of this. So to just give a restriction of we can put it here what protocols or protocol TCP. Yeah, I have to be in order, sorry. Come on. So case here, destination port, maybe the 80. So I'm gonna leave port 80. It's the commonly used for HTTP, quite secure, with SSL over circuit layer, and source interface. We're gonna apply a protocol which is just TCP, and now we're gonna add the source address, which has to be the server that we're gonna release, if we can say so. And in this case is the address of the Ubuntu client that we have. and the action will be bypass. This is what we want, and done. We'll apply everything. Once we apply, press OK. And this will send us to the main page again. Let's wait until it loads everything to try our Ubuntu client without restrictions. Well done, and now let's go to our client. And now we should be able to download to full speed and access to any website that was restricted before. So let's try to access to a website that we know that should be blocked by any of the applications in Untangle. Let's try with +1 playboy.com. Should be blocked, but because we make our client, we make a bypass for our client, it should be allowed. It shouldn't have any problems. Yeah, it's opening quite slow, and yeah, we don't have any restriction in the content now. Let me kill this, and we go back to our Untangle service. So that's pretty much a few of the rules that can be applied in our firewalls, and there you have it. That's it. Thank you.